Given that it's Cloud Kingdom, it's exactly that sort of aggressive harassment that Scarlett will have to do to crack these 3 bases.
And here we go, hopping into the game here to kick off the match that will determine which player advances on out of the group and goes on to face the other 3 players for the Battlegrounds New York City Day 2 here. Let's introduce our players in the southwest position as the Red Zerg. Give it up for Acer Scarlett.
And spawning in the opposing corner, the WCS Season 2 champion, a crowd favorite from Team StarTale, it is Bomber!
It has been a long minute since we've seen Cloud Kingdom. Of course, we got to see it in one of the previous matchups, but I was watching the Twitterverse, and there were some folks saying, oh yeah, this map, I kind of like it. Yeah, it's
is it an 11-11? This is so smart. I mean, you think about the way that the modern maps work. Everyone has their standard spots that they scout for cheeses, but then when you bring back an older map, people are going to be so unlikely to scout those spots because it's just fallen out of their brain.
Oh, now, okay, saving grace, is there any, right? We look at it, 12, 19, 15, 18. Will an Overlord perhaps go to the east location to, you know, perhaps get over there to get behind the natural? It could be possible. The first one would, of course, cross map. The second one up towards the natural.
Oh, man.
But we've got a single racks down. There's not a second one, and we do have Hatch first. So
now, if you'll recall, in the WCS Season 2 Grand Finals, Scarlett was the only player able to push Bomber to the brink. A 2-3 victory for Bomber, but Scarlett lost to this exact playstyle in that game number 5, the proxied Reapers. So Star Sense almost there for Scarlett. She almost detects it, but no dice. I mean, this could be a nightmare scenario. Scarlett just said that she regained her composure. To have this blast forward is going to be a real brutal.
Oh, and there we see the bunker going down immediately, and now's your chance to vote. Will Scarlett take too much damage from this proxy? We're going to find out very, very soon. Now, instantly a drone to come down and try to deal with this may need to pull a couple more.
Look at this. Scarlett is reacting perfectly. She's normally you'd see this and go, uh-oh, it's going to be an 11-11. And what are you going to do? Pull 9 drones. That's 9 targets for the Reaper. Scarlett has done none of that. Scarlett scouted everything, sees that it's a Reaper. Let's see how many drones Scarlett can keep alive or how many will be lost. Oh, at the last second, one gets picked off. SCV does go down, but it looks like only one has fallen thus far.
So far, and if I'm not mistaken, that bunker is still not complete. The SCV's gone down. Here come the Zerglings to chase away. And there we go, salvage. And I would say that those who voted no, the 46%, looks like they might be in a good position here.
Star Sense is with the people who voted. Now, the way that Bomber's going to play this off, he's going to be going for 4 Reapers, and then he has to go factory tech. There's just no time to be able to try to squeeze out more barracks. You have to keep the pressure on, so we tend to see Reaper Hellion straight into Reaper Hellion Banshee. It's going to be a very aggressive, contained focus style, but look, this is just a magnificent job of keeping drones alive. Thus far, Bomber has killed only 2 workers.
Right, and that is just incredible. I mean, you've seen Scarlett drop down, and what happens is typically those drones hit that low. Oh, almost goes down, and there's not a queen inside the main. Here comes the 3rd Reaper as well. And that proxy location is really great here for Bomber. But saving quite a few of those drones. I think a few more have gone down, and we'll do a full assessment here once it's all over. There's a couple Reapers that are just near death, and those queens are trying to put them underground, but it is not going to happen. And just Bomber retaining those, that's a pretty big deal.
I mean, Bomber is always known for his marine-based play, but God, is his micro exceptional. There's 3 command centers down right now. Bomber continuing to storm in. And it looks like Scarlett has just barely set up the defense.
And the 4th Reaper coming on in. These queens now not going to take this fight one-on-one. We get some reinforcements here. But this also kind of eliminates any sort of quicker third. It's going to be hard to even get a single drone over there as we see Bomber hop back up and down from that low ground to the high ground into the main. And again,
God, Bomber is exceptional at keeping those alive. I mean, even these 1 queens now are a potential threat. I mean, you can lose these very, very easily. if you're not careful. I mean, the Queens have lower life than the Reapers right now, but you'll look back on the production tab, you'll look back in Bomber's base, he's only able to build one Hellion at a time because he doesn't have time to get the reactor down. Bomber actually has a clock on him. If Bomber doesn't do enough damage, if Bomber doesn't contain for long enough with Reaper Hellion, then Scarlett bursts forward and with a huge surge of momentum takes a quick, easy win. So the Hellions have to start coming out now. The Banshee has to come up to join, and Scarlett's already erupting up to 5 Queens? 6 Queens already? No, it's going to be 5, but 5 on 2 bases, pretty Banshee-proof.
Yeah, and I think the 5 Queens coming out, you know, even the 4 getting up to that spot, it was really all about just surviving that that time in between those, you know, Reapers 2 and 3 and try to minimize that damage as much as possible.
Yeah.
There's a nice transfuse to just make sure that nothing is dying here. There's a lot of damage being dealt, but nothing is really dying. I don't know what our current drone count was for how much damage those Reapers actually ended up doing. So
only
5 total.
Yeah. And now Scarlett's powering up. There's the cloak en route with the Banshee. Scarlett must get spores. There's no time to get the lair. This is one of the primary goals of this, to contain, to delay, to harass, and oh gosh, look at Scarlett's money. Had plenty of opportunity to begin that lair sooner, but opted for the 1-1 upgrades. Oh no, cloak's gonna be done long before. I mean, Bomber is timing this out magnificently. Yeah,
this Queens now are at danger of going down. The Reapers, because none of them actually fell, are going to be very effective here, but there's a good transfuse. Keep 1 Queen alive. We are going to see both Hellions go down. But again, retaining those Reapers. Of course, you can still use them for map vision, help clear out creep at the end. And of course, that's one of the things we talked about earlier. Scarlett wants to get that creep spread out as much as possible. She wants to make sure that she has it to use to her advantage. And those Reapers can certainly help to clear that as well. But here comes the Banshee.
That Zergling's going to spot that Banshee, Marcus. And I mean, we've already posed the question to you at home. If you think that Scarlett's going to be prepared for the Banshee, well, there it is moving forward. Almost enough time to get up an Overseer, but not quite enough. We see that the cloak is about to be done. Bomber's going to be denying that third straight away.
Yeah, I mean, what really could be done here? Probably just let it get beat down to the end and throw out a cancel. There's the cloak. We've got nothing to detect from this point. Lings do move forward, try to take out some of these units. And, you know, the nice thing about this is that she could wait till that last moment to actually cancel, just in case she does somehow hold this off. And,
oh,
nice.
A few seconds, and it would have been gone. Actually, 1 second, it would have been gone, but we see the 4 Queens there. Will Bomber suspect anything? And Bomber falls for the trap. Will pick off a Queen at the cost of a critical Banshee. Momentum far swinging back to Scarlett now.
And holding on to that third base, which is exactly the thing. You know, can't preemptively cancel, but just watching it, and it was perfectly done right there. Now that the second Banshee comes in, at this point, Scarlett's much more prepared on this side. But the third is going down for Bomber, and he has done a great job in retaining almost everything that he's had from the beginning. Of course, he's had his losses as well, but with that third base coming in, I'm curious to see how that's going to affect Bomber's army overall.
Well, this is very smart. Scarlett's saying there's a vulnerability at the third. I'll poke at it with most of my Zerglings, but let me keep some here, swinging in from the backside. But wow, Bomber's build orders too strong. Already has Stim Marines, already has all the defense he needs, and man, Bomber is just an incredible build order architect, Marcus.
That was actually a fair amount of Lings that just went in there, and it was even a surround. We had Lings come in through the natural and as well as the third, but the perfect amount of Hellions right there, and of course the Marines to clean up. We see the Baneling speed coming out. Of course, the Spire's gone down, so the Mutas are starting to make their way. As common, now the Overlord speed, which is pretty much a necessity these days versus Terran to make sure you're not getting whacked with any Widow Mines overall. And 2-2 upgrades coming out. But the bioforces of, and you'd mentioned that, you know, 100% that this is the way that we would see a Bomber play, and that's exactly what he's doing right now as we have their first crew moving out, a couple Widow Mines in tow as well, and making their way across the map.
Man, I mean, the loss of those Zerglings can be understated. Now, there's no reinforcements to help keep the Mutalisks alive. There's fewer targets to morph into Banelings. I mean, Scarlett has to be really careful here. I mean, Bomber is timing this fantastically. 1-1's done, Combat Shield done, Stim done. A transfuse to keep a Mutalisk alive, but oh no! A discoordinated attack, a lift, and Banelings get annihilated by that early set of Widow Mines, but Scarlett is still trying to control 2-2's nearing completion for Scarlett, but man, The ant line of Marines is never ending, Marcus.
Yeah, and this is the part that gets really scary as a Zerg player, because every time you give up those Banelings, it's not like they're there to use again. So you've got to make sure that you're going to be able to have the right amount for that next attack. Otherwise, the Marines will just parade you to death. And the pickup in that last engagement was absolutely remarkable there by Bomber. And here's that situation. Marines moving in. The Baneling's going to have to give up, but there's no more Banelings left, and we've got another group just outside on their way. And this is where it gets real nasty. 15
Marines being produced at a time. Scarlett needs to land miracle Baneling shots if she wants to stay alive. I mean, Bomber's build orders were too good. Full medevacs, ready to unload. Some transfuses help keep it alive a little longer, but even that's not enough.
Yeah, it's not, and even though a lot of picked up and the Mutas are firing him down, he's going to go ahead and take him into the main. Muta's there, but with so many Marines and another group coming in, what can Scarlett possibly do? There we see a fourth base going down, and these Marines are staking claim on Scarlett's base.
Unfortunately, Sky Banelings don't exist. Even with a perfect angle, Scarlett does not have enough. Good game.
GG.
Bomber's so good in that matchup. The perfect build for that map.
That really